What is up, all you beautiful people? It is I, AkemiTCG, back with a brand new video, and today we have a new deck profile for the Rikka deck. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Rikkas and why they are going to be a good choice for this format. One, you are attributing your opponent's stuff as costs with Rikka Concon. And two, with Rikka Princess, you have a way to play around Nibiru, you have a way to play around hand traps, and you can also tribute your opponent's stuff on their turn to stop their cards with Rikka Concon. So I think it's honestly not bad. You can play a going first or going second build. For this one, I prefer to go first, and it's a more combo build instead of a more control build. And a little bit of background, I went to Logos with this without a side deck. This build right here does have a side deck, and I fixed it up a little bit. I went to Logos, played 4 rounds, won 3 out of the 4 rounds, beat Splight, beat Speedroids, and beat, I don't remember the 4th one. 3rd one. But I also lost to Splight too, but whatever. We'll get to the deck profile. Anyways, let's get to it. We're playing 42 cards in the main, and I'm going to explain why we're playing 42. So let me get the main deck first. 1 second. Alright guys, ready? We are playing 2 Sunseed Genius Loci. People are going to crucify me for playing not 3, but the thing is, it's kind of not that serious. It's going to start off your main major combo play, which works, and it just works well. If you somehow summon this, and then you summon Dryas, and you don't get comboed or hand trap at all, then you can just go off really hard. But the issue here is you don't want to draw unexpected die and this, or you don't want to draw multiple copies of this. So I think 2 is the perfect number for this card. Like, you want to see it just enough but not see it too much. And then obviously the 1 Sunseed Twin, this is your Garnet. You really don't want to draw this because Sowing is in your deck and it's the main combo play, and you really don't want to draw that. So we're just playing that, and that's one of the reasons why we play 42. Obviously, we played 3 Lone Fire Blossoms that gets you the plants. I've seen some builds play 2 just for consistency purposes, and I'm thinking about it. I'll try it, but this card's really good, especially if you're playing Gamma, because you can activate it, and then when you tribute it to grave, they attempt to ash, you summon Gamma, and then you pop the heck off. Because they ash you, you punish them for ashing you, so that's why I like 3 in it. 2 Rikka Petal. It's not that serious. Again, you don't need 3. Just 2 is fine. Same idea with Sowing. Like, you just have... Not Sowing. You have Loci and Petal, and you have different options on what you can do. So you kind of want a little bit of both. And you can search this card very easily with Glamour. You summon this off of Aromatherapy Jasmine. It's honestly not that serious. You don't really need it in your opening hand. 1 Primula. People are going to crucify me for this, but I think 2 is a little bit too much for a number for this card, simply because you can only summon it if you tribute one of your own monsters. I believe it has to be a monster you control distributed. If you can tribute your opponent's monster to summon this from your hand, that would be busted. But I can see different use cases for it, where late game, one of my subscribers pointed out to me that you can use more fodder with Glamour, but the Glamour targets are going to be Petal and Loci. If you're playing this build with the Therian package, you can get Snowdrop and Therian. This and Rikka Princess, if you don't already have one or the other. Or actually, those are the three hits you got. So you have 3 different ways to get to it, and if you're going late that game anyways, then it's just really going to be a toss-up of whether or not you're going to win that one. So I just haven't had an issue with playing 1 Primula. I'm playing 3 Princesses. Some builds play 2, but I just love having this card in the hand or the graveyard as like a safe net. So it's just really good. Guys don't know what this does. It's a free special summon. It locks you into plants while it's on the field, and that's it. And while it's in the hand or graveyard, you can tribute a plant monster, or if you have Concon, you can tribute your opponent's monster, and then shuffle itself back into the deck, so it just recurs itself to negate a monster effect, which is it's pretty bonkers. I'm not gonna lie. So it stops Nibiru. 2 Mudan. I don't need to see it at 3. You really don't need to see it at 3. It's a brick. If you draw too many, you just never want to draw multiples. My philosophy is, if you're playing 2 of something, you want to see it in your hand, but it's not to the point where you want to see multiples. Same with 2 Snowdrop, same idea. Some people play 1, I just like it at 2, just because you're playing a plethora of plants, especially in this build. If you're playing pure, you might be able to get away with the 1, but I played 1 at one point and I just didn't like it at 1. As for Therian package, we're playing 3 Therian Lily. This is wicked cheap right now. Please pick it up right now while it's cheap. So Therian Lily is just a free extender. You are entering into a format where people are playing Sprite, they're playing 2 elements, so there's a lot of hand traps running around, and you have to be prepared for these hand traps. So this allows you another extender to play through things. If they negate your pedal and it hasn't fully resolved, then you're not locked into plant monsters. So you can use this, get Regulus. This is a free extender. If you have another Therian Lily in the grave, you can go Therian Lily. And this thing becomes a gigantic beat stick. Also, Regulus becomes a beat stick too. It's a way to thin out your deck. I just really like it in the deck. But if you don't want to play the Therian stuff, just play in more hand traps. Play in Ghost Ogre, Valor, whatever you like. But it just works out that way, in my opinion. 1 Regulus, obviously, you don't need more than 1. It's only live if this is in the graveyard, so you don't really need more than 1. And it's a free negate. And it's a beater, so we take it. So for the hand traps, the only hand traps I play are 3 DD Crow. This card is insane right now. If you are not playing DD Crow, then you are probably playing either a wonky deck or you're just not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! This format. It's just rough. So DD Crow stops Tears. It stops the Sprite if you hit the Ronin Totem, or depending on when you hit it. Stops multiple road decks. Stops this deck even. Stops Monster Reborn. Stops any random graveyard effects. If your opponent has Sorcerer cards in the grave, you can banish them preemptively so their tie doesn't go off. Like, there's just so many options with this card, and it's not once per turn. So if you draw multiples, not the end of the world. That's why I really like this card, so highly recommend it. And 3 Gammas in the driver. You are playing Unexpected Die, you're playing Sowing, you're playing Lone Fire Blossom, so you need to play the Gammas. It's just phenomenal in this deck. 1 Colosseum for the spells. This is for the Lily Search to get the King, and it does show up where the battle phase effect to mill one of your Therian cards, one of your monsters would die by battle, does come up actually, so it's pretty dope. 3 Rikka Con. Some people play 2. I just really love this card where I just activate it and then I don't do anything else, and then I have Mudan in hand, so it's just free. It's just super free. I love this card to death. So I was playing at 2 with this locals when I went X1, but now upping it up to 3, I think it's the best choice. Also, if you guys don't know, the second effect to tribute your opponent's monster is not once per turn, so if you have multiples of these in the hand, they can just go off. It's very good. 1 Sowing, because you only need 1 for the combo. 3 Rikka Glamour, that's self-explanatory. It's a search. If you have Con, you can tribute your opponent's monsters to get a double search, so it's just really good. 1 for 1, obviously, for an extender, or a playmaker even. 1 Monster Reborn. A lot of builds aren't playing Monster Reborn, but I just really like this card in general. You just have a lot of options you can do with it. So the deck does need more extenders, and that's one of the biggest weak points of the deck. If you can't extend enough to play Yu-Gi-Oh, then you're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh with this deck. 3 Unexpected Dies, obviously for the low C. And then 1 Rikka Sheet for the traps, and then 1 Rikka Tranquility. Some people playing 2 sheets, some people are playing Imperm. I really like Tranquility just because with Con, it just makes too much sense not to play. There's a lot of times you're gonna get bodied in OTK, but if you go Tranquility, right? And then you tribute one of their guys because you have Con on the field, and you bring back, let's say, Therian Lily in defense and a Teardrop in defense. Now they're going to have trouble getting over both of these. Unless they have to if they already have access to Access Code, you're gonna lose. But they're going to have trouble getting over a 28 beater and a 2500 body. Or even that, or if you even get, let's say, Lone Fire on the field, right? And they only have 1 monster they can attack with, then they have to figure out, okay, do you keep this on the field or this on the field? They have to get rid of this because you're going to go off next turn if you keep this on the field. But if they attack into this, then they have to deal with this after. So it's just, I think it's a good card. I just haven't had a reason to cut it yet, so we're going to keep that in there. Did you know I have a website? Visit AkemiTCG.com to get your limited edition Rikka Fairy merchandise today. On to the extra deck. It's actually pretty tight, I'm not gonna lie, guys. 2 Dryas. You play the 2 just for the twins effect, the second effect, and also just to get monsters in the grave. It's just really good to get your Princess in the grave, especially when you don't need it in the field. It's cracked. 1 healer just to gain life points and also to get a free body off of Dryas. so get that free life points. 1 Dance Fion. This is the mill 3, this is Lightsworn S card. If you hit 1 plant, most of the time when you go for these combos, when you mill 3, you want to hit at least 1 plant. But if you hit 2 plants, you just nut. It's just so good in this deck that you just need to play the 1. I tried playing this at 2, but the second one just never came up. However, the card that comes up at 2 is Aromatherapy Jasmine. This card is insane at 2. You tribute whatever card it's pointed to summon a plant monster from your deck in defense. That's busted. Okay, if you guys don't know, that's wicked busted. If you resolve your Gamma earlier that turn, you could tribute your non-plants just to get some plants from your deck to get going. So it's a good card. It's a good way to climb. It's just good. 1 Melius. When you go off with your Sun Avalon plays, when you get the Melius back, it's just the climb into Bengal Lancer. There's no other reason we play this card because we're not playing Thrasher, unfortunately. 1 Bengal Lancer. Card's good. No other explanation for that. Strene is really good right now because we have Rikka Princess. We're playing 3 of those. It's way easier to get 4s. And also with the Grape. This Grape makes it easy to get 4s. And you just recur everything you need to tribute your opponent's stuff. If your opponent is not paying attention to your field spell, your back row, and also your front row, it becomes a very tricky deck to deal with because you don't just deal with the spells and traps, but you also have to deal with the monsters as well. And with the Strene, it just recurs a lot of the cards you need in the deck. 1 Kanzashi. Kanzashi plus Teardrop is OTK, if you guys don't know. The card's busted. So, the card's busted. And protects your plants too. So we're playing 2 Teardrops. This card's good. You tribute your opponent's stuff, tribute your stuff. It gains 200 attack for each card that was tributed. And it's a mandatory effect that does trigger. So, it's cracked. 1 Alsay. So this is probably the only flexible card in this deck, in the extra deck. People can play Omega for the Cyphering package, which makes sense because, you know, you get a free Omega. But I feel like Alsay comes up a lot, especially where you summon something in defense and you really can't quite kill your opponent and you're just terrified they might draw into something that will kill you. If you summon Alsay and they just have a dead body on the field, then you can just recur it back to the top and it's checkmate. Because you recur for that turn, you stack their deck, and then you know exactly what they're gonna draw. They can't do crap. And the next turn, you do that again one more time, and they should be dead. So I really like Alsay in the deck. And 1 Hyperiton. If you summon Alpha Strene, it's a monster / spell negate, depending on when you use it. So it's good. Onto the side deck. I never got a chance to use these, so this is just experimental. 3 Rivalries. If you're playing practically only plants, you could side out the Gammas if you have the Rivalries, or you just keep them in and just pray that they never conflict, but that's just a really good card if you're going first. 3 Evenly Matched, you're going second, you want to nuke their board. 3 Dark Ruler, kill their board. 3 Twin Twisters, destroy their back row. I'm trying this over Cosmic and seeing which one I like more. I'll let you guys know when. And Harpy's Feather Duster for back row, and then 2 Lightning Storm for the back row / front row. Anyways, that is it for the profile. I don't have my actual real setup, so we're doing profiles like this for the time being until I fix my real setup, because if you guys didn't know, I did move out. So hope you all enjoyed the deck profile. It's this deck's so much fun. You're gonna love this build. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. Try it out, go to locals. I'm gonna have a blast with this deck, and I hope you guys will too. I'm AkemiTCG. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
The world ends now.